Chiefs, Andy Reid used to coach the Eagles. That sounds easy. But where did Nick Sirianni coach? Did he coach for the Chiefs? He did. Brody Coyle and Matt Castle, his quarterback, sorry guy. He probably would have liked Patrick Mahomes, and when Andy Reid came over, he relieved him of his duties, which Nick Sirianni wasn't very happy about. Probably because he never got Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he never knew he was going to get Patrick Mahomes, but anybody was better than Matt Castle and Brody Coyle. Brody Coyle won as many games as me, you, my mom, Kevin, Nancy, Laura, Megan, Matt, Patrick, 0. Now we're going to do things that we maybe didn't know us to do. There's 11 factors. All Super Bowls have factors have traditionally not held in Super Bowl in the stadium with a climate of less than 50 degrees Fahrenheit unless it's covered or a retractable roof. The Super Bowl will mark the 15th straight postseason game the Chiefs have either hosted or been at home or a neutral location. The Super Bowl is the second highest eating day in America, trailing Thanksgiving. According to the NFL, 8 million pounds of guacamole are consumed during the Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers were the first team ever to win a Super Bowl, beating the Kansas City Chiefs 35-10 in 1967. The University of California, which was founded and located in Berkeley, has produced the most Super Bowls in quarterbacks and QBs. Number 5. The NFL has traditionally not held the Super Bowl in stadiums with climates less than 50 degrees Fahrenheit unless it's been covered under a retractable roof. Don't really understand why they pretended it twice, but they did. Each team competing in the Super Bowl gets 108 footballs. Each 54 are for practice, 54 are for the games. On the average of game day of the Super Bowl, 120 footballs are used. 12 football teams are not yet to win the Super Bowl, and 4 teams have never made the Super Bowl. Those 4 teams are the Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions, and Cleveland. Now let's do some previews and facts you didn't know about the Super Bowl maybe, and we'll start off with that. We'll do college basketball first, though. Number 9, Kansas will play Oklahoma Sooners. We mentioned yesterday that game tips off at 1 from Norman. Kansas is coming off a win over Texas. I'm picking Kansas 77-70. Tennessee number 6 will host 19-5 and 8-3. Will host Missouri 18-6, 6-5 in SEC play. Yes, I think the Vols are a little overrated, but I think this game is too tough. 78-65 is my final. Tip it at 6. Kansas State won, blowing out TCU. They will play against the worst team in the Big 12, Texas Tech. Give me Kansas State 70-65 at Texas Tech. Now we're going to move on to the top 25 college basketball teams. UConn, Creighton to host. TCU to host Baylor. That game tips off at 4. Now on to things you may have not known about the Super Bowl. And Cleveland Browns. Super Bowl 2022, which saw Los Angeles Rams emerge as victorious against the Cincinnati Bengals, was viewed by almost 30% of the United States, which is equal to around 100 million. Rumors has it that it's named the Super Bowl due to a childhood. Lamar Hunt said the name was likely in his head because his children were playing with the Super Bowl toy. The greater Chiefs owner won an AFC championship and a Super Bowl. Lamar Clark Hunt's son, though, has been to 5 AFC championships and has held that trophy 3 times in the last 5 years. The highest scoring Super Bowl in a game was played in 1995 between the San Francisco 49ers and the San Diego Chargers. The 49ers won 49-26. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Now lean more on Jason and Sam. So let's get to the Super Bowl, or we could go on for hours about this.
Yeah.
So Eagles are statistically the best defense since 1985. The Bears.
Better than the Ravens?
I'm just saying, as far as like most sacks, I don't think.
You mean okay? Most sacks, okay.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know if they have better turnover numbers or whatever, but
17-game season too.
yeah, I don't know if they're the best since 1985. I think that's unfair to say.
They're absolutely not, because they. I'm not saying they're not good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, I mean, you can score on them. I mean, those same underachieving Cowboys put a 40 piece on them.
So,
and their defense had missing starters that day.
But they were missing Jalen Hurts.
But the defense wasn't missing starters, is what I said. Jalen Hurts doesn't play defense.
I know, but did he throw a couple of interceptions?
No.
No. So
my point is that you can score on Philadelphia. You couldn't score on the 2000 Ravens. You couldn't score on the 85 Bears unless you were like Dan Marino and the Dolphins, who were the only team that beat them that year. You can score on Philadelphia. What's that?
Patrick Mahomes is better than, or if he wins this year, he's better than Dan Marino.
He's already better than Dan Marino. Never won a Super Bowl. Well, let me backtrack.
And he won one.
Dan Marino never. He went to one Super Bowl.
The undefeated Miami Dolphins.
That was in '72. Dan Marino was probably in third grade then or something. So, like, Marino was great, and the point is that you can be great and get to one Super Bowl or none, just depending on when you're born. So Mahomes he'll probably end up statistically better than Marino. I'll say Mahomes is better than Marino. Not that Marino is great.
So he's the best quarterback in the game, period. He's the best player in the game, period, right?
In the Super Bowl? Or
best player in the game. Is he or is he not?
Who? Best player. Best player in the NFL
today.
That's a big step. Because you've got so many. I mean, positionally, I'll go ahead and say positionally, but I'll say we can. It's just hard to say.
I have a hard time saying Aaron Donald.
Because when you say football player, I mean, there's so much that can go into that. I mean, offense, defense, influence on the game. Quarterback wise, you're not going to find better than him. But so what do we? It's just really hard. I just hate saying that he's the best football player, because
I don't hate saying it.
It's just so many players do so much, and I just don't want to discount anybody. But he's a bad boy. He's the best player on the field in the Super Bowl. He's coming into the game.